Hello, horror hounds. And just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, you can't get to it. Today's film shows just what could be achieved with a really cool looking poster and an excellent tagline in the 1980s. Because apart from a couple of surprising actors in this movie, it's generally considered that the poster and the tagline are the two main things that this movie, Blood Beach, has got going for it. I'm testament to the fact that if you watch a horror movie early enough and young enough, it doesn't really matter how well made the movie is. If it makes an impression on you, then nostalgia will take over and you'll have affection for this movie regardless of its quality. It's never really got a decent DVD release. There's a German DVD of it, but not really something widely available, which is why I was really pleased to find uh, the full freaking movie here on YouTube. I'll put the link in the comment section below if you choose to watch it. But I had a nostalgic fun time last night rewatching Blood Beast that I haven't seen for decades. It's exactly the movie I remember. All the bits that impress themselves on my young mind are all there, and all the obvious flaws of this B-movie. We're in real cheapo B-movie territory here. All the flaws are apparent. Heavy, long dialogue scenes to fill out the running time to make up for the fact that there isn't really that much of a budget. Microphones coming down into shot all the time. A pace that's glacial, again for budgetary reasons. A monster that you don't see until the last 60 seconds, last minute to 2 minutes of the movie. There's only a few shots of the creature at the end, and perhaps if there had been a slightly more of the budget to dedicate to the creature, then the movie would be more fondly remembered if there had been maybe a little bit more bang for your buck there. But if you go into this knowing that you're going to watch a schlocky B-movie, monster movie, where you're not really going to see the monster, then you can still have a really great time with this movie. Blood Beach is really an excellent concept, let down by, I don't want to say poor filmmaking, because the filmmaking is all right. It's fine. It's just that it's going to be so much cheaper to shoot people discussing what's going on than it is to have more set pieces that sort of evolve and escalate. But I have a place in my heart for 1970s movies, and this is a 1980 movie, but the aesthetic, just because the date changes to 1980, the aesthetic of filmmaking doesn't change instantly. I just love how 70s movies look and how they feel. I don't know whether it was the film stock, a style of cinematography or lighting, but it's just movies look different nowadays. And 80s movies, once the 80s got their aesthetic, and the slick MTV 90s movies, they all looked different. The movies that I like the look of the most, really and honestly, are from the 70s. And no matter how low the budget, you can still get that feel, and Blood Beach has that in spades going for it. It also has a couple of really standout actors in it. John Saxon, who's Nancy Thompson's dad in A Nightmare on Elm Street. He's also in Enter the Dragon. The legend that is John Saxon plays yet another cop in this movie. John, always a cop. Saxon is another cop in this. He's trying to lead the police force to investigate a series of disappearances on, is it Santa Monica Beach? I was going to say Venice Beach, but I believe it's Santa Monica Beach. And so he's the beleaguered cop, and aiding him, but more hindering than aiding is Sergeant Royko, played by Burt Young. And if you love the Rocky movies like I do, and ever wished, I wish I could get a chance to see some more of Paulie from the Rocky movies, watch Blood Beach, because if you ever wondered what Paulie from the Rocky movies would be like if instead of working in a meat factory, he worked as a police officer, this movie will tell you, because Burt Young, who I love, is basically playing Paulie from the Rocky movies. They even call him Sergeant Royko, which is as close to an anagram of Rocky as you can possibly get without being an exact anagram of Rocky. So, yeah, his attitude, his style of delivery, fumbling around with that, the way he dresses, everything. He's Paulie from the Rocky movies, except he's a cop who has got a bee in his bonnet about moving from Santa Monica, from Chicago, and he's constantly talking about how much better, how they would have done it in Chicago, and he's hilarious. There's a scene in the middle of the film where he's taking a missing persons statement from the wife of a metal detector who's gone missing on the beach because the creature's nabbed him, and he asks her for a description of what her husband was wearing, and you will ever see halfway through the movie, which is just the wife detailing what her husband went out in that morning in so much precise detail. The scene goes on and on and on. It's about 3.5 minutes of her describing what her husband was wearing in intimate detail. Unnecessary detail, it must be said. But the payoff of the scene is so funny. She's talking about his shoes and then the socks, his executive socks, and explaining what executive socks are, and then the shorts he was wearing, and then describing his t-shirt. I'm not going to ruin the payoff of the gag for you, but the camera just cuts to Burt Young, and you can almost, while he's, I think he's making up his lines at this point. You can see behind his eyes, he's like, okay, are they rolling camera on this? Is this going to be in the movie? You can be sort of looking around at the crew. Anyway, there's it's a fun movie. The monster is disappointing in the end. I wish they spent a little bit more money on it. If you'll see other reviews, and if you see the German DVD of it, and you'll see people talking about the inconsistencies of the monster. What that basically means is that they've seen the German DVD release of Blood Beach, and the Germans, in their infinite wisdom, decided that it would be a good idea to add a couple of scenes of footage from other movies into Blood Beach. In Blood Beach, you do not see the creature until the very end of the movie. If you watch the German cut of the movie, you'll see one attack where there's a green scaly reptilian hand, which is a couple of shots from another movie just dropped into Blood Beach, and then in a later attack you'll see a completely different looking creature with glowing red eyes in the dark, which is from a third movie just plonked into Blood Beach, and at the end you get the actual creature that was intended for the movie. Yes, this movie could have been a hell of a lot better. Yes, it could have been scripted a bit tighter. Yes, there could have been, for a movie called Blood Beach, there could have been more blood to it. But if you want to see a rapist get his Johnson eaten off before he can get a chance to commit his next abominable crime, and if you want to see people sucked down into the sand, if you want to see a movie that basically riffs on Jaws in possibly the most original way there was, a swathe of movies came out after Jaws that tried to grab those Jaws dollars and just inverting the whole premise and making the water the safe place to be, and the beach where this creature can suck you under. And honestly, the effects of the little sinkholes that appear in the sand, the little funnels in the sand as the creature sucks its victims down, it's really well done. The ending, I really like the ending, and I'm not going to give away the ending. I think it's really effective. It's never going to win any awards, but if you love John Saxon, if you love Burt Young, if you love schlocky B-movie horror films and monster movies, chances are there'll be something in this for you to get a kick out. If you hate it though, you're in good company. Lots of people do hate it. Not me though. I've got a fond affection for it, and I will wholly acknowledge that it's because of the rose-tinted glasses I wear when I watch this film, because it was a part of my childhood. But check out the link below and check out the movie.